Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Turf Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Gabe Dowd, and joining me to my left, the one, the only, the Mr. Consistent, the only co-host that never has any... Do you have a life? Do you have a life? Wait, because now I'm really realizing you're the only one who's ever here. I've not been here. Nick's not been here. You're always here.
Yeah.
Except for when your car fails. But then none of us were here, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyways, Nick is not with us. To my left is Dami Salami, a.k.a. Dom Capuano.
That's me.
This guy's got a big game coming up this week. Well, so do I.
We both got big games
coming up this week.
Hence all the merch on.
I am wearing my team this week.
Yeah.
Last week I was wearing repping the Gymshark. This week we're repping the Bronco wear.
Yep.
We're back in school. Actually, first I'm going to ask you, Dom, how is your week before we get into what episode 63 will consist of?
I miss Nick. He's a long, far time away in Florida.
Bro's getting his cheeks tanned up in the Floridian sun. Spending time at Disney. Scoping out people wearing fake jerseys. Questionable acts in public bathrooms that should not be happening in public. Repping his new college that he is missing a week's worth of classes on the first week because, again, he is in Florida. Bragging about the temper, really just living the best life while I sit here and do school. Dom, well, at least he works.
I got
still.
2 more weeks off.
He still works. That's something. And here we are grinding yet again at this. Clips went great this week.
Yes,
they
did.
Be proud of me this week.
Yes, they did. Nick, Gabe finally did the clips. I got both the videos uploaded. It's been good for content.
We're getting back on track. I leave in 3 weeks for the Super Bowl. 4 weeks. 3 or 4 weeks. I don't remember. I'm losing track.
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Because we got this week, next week, the bye week, and then Super Bowl week. 4 weeks.
And then I'll be gone. It'll be on you and Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, to do Super Bowl week.
So what has your life been like this last week, really? I haven't seen you since
I've
Sunday,
toned back work a little bit. I'm getting less hours now that the holiday season's passed.
Be honest, is your mental state clearing up then?
Oh, it's much better.
Oh,
I have some time off, some free time myself.
It makes you wonder what's more important, your pockets being full or your brain being clear?
That time off is very, very valuable.
You spending it playing Madden?
Yeah.
Madden 26, that is?
Yes, of course.
Nice. On the PS4 or 5?
5, baby.
5. Let's go. 5. Moving up. Yeah, I haven't gotten to play much video games. Did me and you didn't get to
we did.
Play our fort match after the first one? No. We played one night.
Yeah,
we agreed to play that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and let me tell you, not one night did we either of us get on or text each other. I texted you one of those nights. You were busy, and you didn't text me Saturday when I told you to. So here we are 2 weeks later, still have yet to play more Fortnite, and I probably won't get to now because I'm back in school. Also, I miss on all my log cabin gifts. At 20 years old, I'm still bitching about not getting my gifts in Fortnite.
I tried to open them. I couldn't figure out why
I haven't played video games in so long, it ain't even funny.
So.
It's actually sad. I want to know what it feels like just to sit down and play a video game.
It's nice. No, I can only do it for an hour at a time because then I just get pissed off.
I've just been working, and now I'm back in school, and I spent my entire first day of classes realizing that this spring semester might actually be the shittiest feeling I've ever felt because I don't want to be back in the classroom. I want a life again. I want to go to the park and play football like I'm 12 again. I want to go to the beach. I want to go travel. I want to go do. Yeah. I want to go spend money.
We got some big things to look
I want to
work
and spend money.
We
got the Florida trip.
Got the concert.
The boys' days.
Yeah.
There's a lot to look forward to, but there's also to look forward to for episode 63 because on episode 63, we're going to be giving you our wild card reactions. What was a great week of football nonetheless. Had 2, rather slower games. One of them finished higher scoring than the Patriots did, but it was still a good game. Also going to be giving you our divisional round pick'ems, and we're going to be discussing some headlines going around the league for Tuesday discussion desk segment.
Yes, sir.
So let's not beat around the bush anymore, Don. Let's get to the news.
To start us off with a very eventful week of football news. Wow is an understatement.
This is one, mind you, me and you said last week confidently this was not happening.
Yes.
And now
the Miami Dolphins have fired head coach Mike McDaniel after coming out and saying his job was pretty much safe. That was a report released by Adam Schefter earlier in the year.
Team reporters and Shefty all said that Mike McDaniel's job was safe and he was remaining the head coach despite Tua's comments and the production of this year's team. And now here we are with a vacant head coach spot.
Yep.
And the Miami Dolphins are yet again in search for a coach and maybe even a quarterback.
Now let me tell you, Mike McDaniel may not be a head coach of another team in this cycle. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. If he doesn't end up a head coach, I can see him being a very good OC candidate
damn good OC.
For a team, especially like the Eagles that just lost theirs, which I just spoiled a piece of news.
Now, I was going to say, we'll just get to that now. Eagles offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo is out as the offensive coordinator. Not surprising.
Not surprising, however.
I won't lie to you. I think, we talked about this around the week 9 trade deadline time period. When everyone was talking about should they get rid of A.J. Brown. And I still stand on, they should have gotten some capital for him considering the issues. And we're going to get to that later on in the show. But I think a bigger issue at that point in time wasn't necessarily A.J. Brown, but it was more so the guy calling the plays. Nick Sirianni has never been the play caller after his first season in Philly. He gave it up right away. They've had that ever-revolving door of OCs due to how well the Eagles play. Now you get Kevin Patullo in there, and the whole offense looks different. Yeah. Barkley had a massive game this week and still did not get the game or get the job finished. So Kevin Patullo being fired now, I think, is a little bit late. But not unexpected.
Either way, he did win a Super Bowl for them. So my question to you is, how much of this can you blame on him or the recent reports coming out?
Was Kevin Patullo the OC? I thought Kellen Moore was.
It could have been Kellen Moore. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I thought he's been there, though, for, 6 seasons?
He might have been an assistant or underneath coach, but I'm pretty sure Kellen Moore before he took the Saints job. Yeah, Kellen Moore was the OC before. Yeah. After the Super Bowl, I'm going to verify, but.
Yeah, well, anyways, how much of that can you blame on Kevin when you have these recent reports coming out saying that Jalen Hurts isn't capable of running a complex offense? I don't know if you heard those reports or allegations.
Kellen Moore.
It was Kellen Moore?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know if you heard those reports or those allegations about Jalen Hurts not being able to run a complex offense.
But I don't buy into that because look at the offense here with Kellen Moore. That playbook was arguably the most dominant offense last year. Between the pass attacks and the intricate run game with Saquon Barkley, and I'm pretty sure at the time they had Kenneth Gainwell as well, if I'm not mistaken, before he went to Pittsburgh. That offense was elite. You factor in the tight end play with Dallas Goedert, it wasn't like we were watching some simple concepts. This wasn't, and I'm going to knock on my own team because it's been said all year long and in the last 2 years, it wasn't a high school run screen playbook like we see the Broncos run at times. I would argue that Jalen Hurts, and now granted I'm biased, I love Jalen Hurts. Yeah. I think that Jalen Hurts can run any offense. It's a matter of can we get the drama and the toxicity in the locker room? I don't know what other word to use.
That's a
I think that's the biggest factor.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're going to get to that, but I think mainly with that situation, Jalen Hurts is fine. The core of this offense is fine. Offensive line just stay the same. Jalen Hurts is your quarterback of the future. Devontae Smith's your wide receiver core, regardless of him being the true number one or not. Dallas Goedert, your tight end. Barkley is your running back. Who's the odd man out? AJ Brown. And like I said, we'll get to it. I think Jalen Hurts and everyone's fine. Get a new OC. Keep the core as it is. Keep building. Hy Roseman knows what he's doing.
Yep. And back to the Miami Dolphins. They are hiring the Packers vice president of player personnel, John Eric Sullivan, as their general manager.
The Packers are historically good, despite the playoff doubts, of building great teams with lackluster names.
Legends.
So, do I hate this move? No. The Dolphins have been a rather loud franchise for the last 20 years. They get big names. They draft all these guys. They get head coaches in and out, but they never get them to stay. Nothing sticks in Miami.
Yep.
So, what's the one team with culture? What's the one team that has the most consistent core year in and year out? The Green Bay Packers. Even with Jordan Love having the up and down seasons, they're still a playoff fringe team.
Absolutely.
They still make plays when it matters most. They still develop all these guys. Jordan Love being one of them. Romeo Doubs being one of them. Christian Watson being one of them. I don't hate this move whatsoever.
I don't either.
So
Why not?
I'm completely okay with it. Another move that might ruffle some feathers, maybe not. I liked it. I thought it was cool. Oklahoma has finalized a deal to hire former superstar Cowboys tight end Jason Witten as their respective tight end coach. I was surprised it was tight end coach because when there was rumbles that he was going to go to coach in college, I thought maybe it'd be OC. I didn't think head coach, maybe offensive coordinator. I like this though. He goes back to Dallas. He gets
you can see how good he is, what he's got in him, and
go back to his roots. Yeah, there's no doubt. If there's one way to start a coaching career, it's this right here.
Yeah.
Sticking with starting another form of a career, the Falcons are hiring former star quarterback Matt Ryan as the new president of football, giving him the final say in every decision made in Atlanta from this point forward. So he hires the GM, he hires the coach, he drafts the personnel and the players. I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Now, what I didn't like, and I told you this before the show, the little joking shot at Phillip Rivers that he's not doing this to come back and play football, but he's rather doing this to come back and have a piece of Atlanta again, because that's where his career started, but not play back like Phillip Rivers. Why did we need to throw that in there? I don't think there was a need for it.
Phillip Rivers should go talk to him about 28-3 and see what he knows about those two numbers.
Yeah, but then you got to hear the dig that he made the Super Bowl and Rivers didn't. I mean,
that's true.
It's a conversation I think two Hall of Fame quarterbacks shouldn't have. But at the end of the day, Matt Ryan, good for you, great for Atlanta. I think we could have just did this more.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm reading between the lines a little too much. I was just like, really, man, we got to call Phillip Rivers because I understand it wasn't pretty for the Colts, but I argue he played better football than I anticipated him playing. For his age, circumstance, 4 years off a ball, coming off the couch and coaching a high school team.
Absolutely, I'm very high on him.
You can't have more respect.
Almost beat the Hawks.
Yeah.
But another huge impact, I feel like I've said this a million times, the poor 49ers. George Kittle suffered a torn Achilles in the wildcard round against the Eagles and will miss the rest of the playoffs. Another huge blow.
Even with, he knew right away. I mean, we saw right away on the replay. But when he went back to the scan room to get his MRI or X-ray, whatever they were doing, he asked for a shot at tequila. He knew right away.
Oh, yeah.
But even with the missing presence of George Kittle, the offense did not take a step back in that said game. And it almost feels that the guys are more amped, more juiced for this week's game, which could be good or bad. We don't know if they're overlooking them or maybe they come back to play. We don't know. But I think that even with George Kittle getting hurt, the team still looks in it. Like, very much so in it. I said before the game started, I don't know if you remember when I said it or if you caught it, they looked amped coming out of the tunnel with their little boom box. They still had that little culture thing
100%,
going.
yeah.
But no,
and you got fifth and sixth string linebackers in there, and they're still making plays on Saquon. And
hate on the 49ers all you want. They're getting it done with nothing.
That strung together offensive line protected Brock pretty good against the Eagles.
A quarterback that we said a season ago was not as good as Baker Mayfield, who has had a rough 8 last weeks of the season and did make the playoffs this year, who was in MVP conversations to start the season.
Yeah.
So,
what a fall off.
Back to the Falcons. Falcons will potentially be unveiling new uniforms in April of 2026. This was announced with a teaser on their socials. So, not only are we getting a new head coach, we have the new president of football. We're now getting new uniforms. Could we say it's a new era of football in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know where they go because when they unveiled these current uniforms, which for a lot of people are a little too much, a little over the top, a little too modern, I don't know where they go. I say don't mess it up. Go retro.
Absolutely.
Red helmets.
Absolutely.
Bring back the red lids.
The silver.
The block numbers on the black jersey. Let's keep it simple. They look the best. They performed the best. They beat the Bucs on Thursday Night Football in those uniforms. They looked great doing it. I say you got Matt Ryan back. No better way.
I'm excited to see the future of the Falcons. I mean, with
all
the great core they already have.
Yeah, exactly.
They're built. I mean,
I honest to God, and I don't know if I'm seeing reports that like Tomlin, Harbaugh will take time off. I think go get Harbaugh.
Absolutely.
You put Harbaugh on this team, and I don't know that.
And you
Penix
figure out
is
your
the guy.
quarterback situation.
I was going to say, you want to take a season with Penix, fine. And I will be shocked when it happens, but I also won't be disappointed or completely like blown out of this world if they decide to move off both. Because you're inheriting this team.
Absolutely.
If you don't want Kirk or Penix, and they've already made it clear they don't care about the money.
Yeah.
Go get your guy.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know who that guy will be. That's why I said maybe they do roll it back with Penix one more year. Shit, maybe they make Penix sit and see if he can get valuable lessons from that and make Kirk get these last few years.
I just don't think we've had this conversation. I don't think Penix's ceiling is there.
I think he came in on his ceiling.
Yeah.
His floor was so high.
Yeah.
And you combat that with the injury history.
Yeah.
That we unfortunately got, which sucks because I seriously thought if healthy and at his best, Penix is a great quarterback.
Absolutely.
He shows you the tangibles that he has. Like it's not hidden.
Like, I don't think the consistency is really there with him.
And that's the problem. And then, like I said, the injury comes into play, and now you're forced to start Kirk.
Exactly. So. And Kirk's played a good last 4 games.
We'll see. He looked good, but can he do it for a whole season?
I wonder if they're going to keep him.
That's the mystery.
Give it another try.
This all comes down to the GM, the coach, and arguably what Matt Ryan and these 3 guys will say come off season in draft time. We'll find out very quickly.
Yeah.
This story's going to move along faster than we think.
Yep. And speaking of more ACL tears, we bring it back to Buffalo in the north. And wide receiver Gabe Davis suffered a torn ACL in the team's win versus Jacksonville. On top of that, they lost another wide receiver who played 22 offensive snaps with a torn ACL, and that is wide receiver Tyrell Shavers.
Mm-hmm. The fact that of the 34 snaps they played in the second half, he played 22 of them on
with a torn ACL is absolutely insane. I don't get how he did it.
And even with trailing, Buffalo found a way to come back. Now, the argument, and we all know it, it's your superhero quarterback, Josh Allen. But, Dom, you brought this to my attention tonight. What does that mean going forward this coming week with a defense that might have the notch on Jacksonville's defense? You don't have the weapons.
Yeah.
And Josh is limited to himself. And you take a couple good hits from any linebacker, or they just scheme you the right way. What does this offense look like this week, relying on only Allen and James Cook?
Buffalo, you just read my mind. Buffalo is going to have to rely on James Cook, and a lot of that workload is going to go on to him. And I think we're going to see Buffalo's offense get completely stalled. I'm very high on the Broncos to win this game.
Which is surprising a lot of people are not.
Simply because Buffalo lacks the weapons, and the Broncos defense knows how to take those options away. And Buffalo's just going to run out of options. And though the Broncos offense might not be the most explosive, I think they can get it done in the times. And the Bills defense isn't exactly the top of the league.
We argued it, I want to say around week 10 or 11. You said it's the defense. The defense will carry them as far as they need to go.
Defense wins championships.
And right
offense
now,
sells tickets.
The offense just has to be bare minimum, which is what they've been arguably, unfortunately, all season.
It's what Seattle's has been.
Now, here's the problem. If the Broncos defense has played as it has in the last few weeks, where they're stalling when people like Parker Washington are open in the middle of the field, does that open it up for James Cook? And that's where Denver's exploited. Because you said you're high on the Broncos in this game. And now it's weird at home. The Bills are 1.5 favorites right now, which is not common when you're not the home team.
Yeah.
So yet again, the Broncos are the underdog, no matter what the circumstance is. How highly are you actually on? Because there are areas of exploitation on that defense.
There is not a doubt in my mind the Broncos will not win this game.
You've seen it.
Yep. There's not a doubt in my mind.
So even knowing that it can be exploited in the middle of the field, You're confident still.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see how this unfolds. I'm glad you are. I'm glad there's some people out there who see for what
Absolutely.
it is. And at the end of the day, I said this about Seattle to some people who won't pick them in the playoffs of the Super Bowl. The record is what you are at the end of the day, whether you like it or not. They're a 14-3 team.
You're playing an NFL football team. A win's a win.
Yeah, exactly. Now, arguably the biggest headline coming into this episode and this week of football, and mind you, this is taking attention away from a week in which we call the Divisional Round in the NFL playoffs. That's crazy.
Yep.
Now, I made a clip, an instant reaction to this today. So if you haven't yet seen it on socials, go check that out. But if you're here right now, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin is stepping down as head coach after 19 seasons. And they lost last night to the Texans in the wild card, which could be, or possibly will be, Aaron Rodgers' last game.
Yep.
Which means it is a full-blown new era in Pittsburgh. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, you're going to have a new head coach, and now that new head coach also has to figure out a quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, there are pieces in place.
For good or for worse.
There are pieces in place.
Absolutely.
Now, DK may not be what he once was.
I don't know if you saw my live reactions during that game.
Let me ask you this. If they get the right coach, can they still stay afloat as to what they were this year?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because coaching changes a lot.
Absolutely. It all depends on what coach they get, where they go in the quarterback direction, and who they pick up.
And my only concern is Cam Hayward. There's videos when the crowd was screaming, "Fire Tomlin." And he came out and said that it's nonsense that the fans would even say that because he has such an impact and influence on the locker room. What are the players feeling right now? I think this is going to impact the players more, similar to the Ravens, like you just said. Yeah. I think this impacts the players more than anything. This is a mental hit to the locker room.
Yeah.
I mean, nearly 2 decades. These players have only known Tomlin.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to lie. Me and you have been saying for 2 seasons.
I've been saying it for 2 seasons. He needs to go.
He needed to go. Now, Tomlin is a great head coach. I want him elsewhere.
Absolutely.
Now, there are reports that he will take a year off and do a media for at least a year and then get traded because the Steelers still have the rights to Tomlin.
Absolutely.
This is going to be very similar to Sean Payton if this goes how Payton went.
You got to pay attention to the wording. Stepping down is not the same as firing.
Exactly.
So the Steelers still have the rights to him, which means he needs to get traded if he's going to go to a different team.
Which is what it was for Payton. So that means a team will have to trade. Yeah. Arguably, maybe a first or second round pick, if not both, like we did.
Yeah, and that's good for the Steelers themselves because they can still get the capital for this great head coach while not even having him as their head coach.
You just got to go about this the way the opposite of how the Saints went about this. Yeah. Now, granted, I'm not out on Kellen Moore yet, but it was not pretty. It has not been pretty.
Yeah.
Since Sean Payton has left, we all bitch and moan about how bad Sean Payton can be. It's been pretty ugly in New Orleans. So the Steelers really got to go about this the right way, get the right guy now, so that when the time comes for a team to call and buy for Tomlin, you're getting the buy-in, the capital back. Yep. That'll keep building.
Absolutely.
They need to treat this kind of how the Hawks treated the Russell Wilson trade. Let's trade the big name. And although everyone's going to say, oh, no, he's gone, let's make this work for the next 5 years. Because that's what matters in the NFL is what are you going to be playing for? Everyone's playing for that next championship. Pittsburgh is fully aware. Now, this is the other weird part. The whole AFC North, despite Zach Taylor, has been depleted.
Out of all coaches, Zach Taylor, Kevin Stefanski.
And I told you earlier, I'd rather have Stefanski. But
John Harbaugh.
Harbaugh's getting hired right away. I can feel it. I know that. I know that for a fact. But I was not my bingo card for today for Mike Tomlin to be stepping down as head coach. Now, I've always advocated for the firing of it, the splitting, how they wanted to word it. I did not expect it today.
It came a lot sooner than I thought. And going back to your point on Seattle's trade, the players they got from that include Charles Cross, Boye Mafe, Devin Witherspoon, Derek Hall, along with quarterback Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and Shelby Harris.
One of those players just got extended a week ago, Charles Cross.
Absolutely.
Being the future of that team now.
And every single one of those players that were drafted from that trade ended up being huge. Mm-hmm. So you need to trade players and coaches alike when they have the capital and when they mean something to other teams, because that's when you're gonna get the most back for them.
Now, I'd love to piggyback on your comment that defense wins championships, but does Pittsburgh go a different route now and go get a young offensive-minded coach? Cliff Kingsbury, maybe.
I can see it. They haven't been defensively dominant in a number of years.
But they've been defensively led for 19.
Correct.
So is it time to flip that page and go to a new culture, a new face, a new way?
Again, you have the pieces in place. If you can get DK to take his head out of his ass and figure out what he's doing.
Get the run game, because I like Jalen Warren, but Caleb Johnson was not the guy they anticipated to be.
Yeah.
You need to go get that run game re-solidified, because Najee Harris ended up being your future and is still not there now. So It's a rough look in Pittsburgh, but I think that it's not as sloppy as it could be.
Not at all.
Yeah,
they have the core pieces there. You just got to go build off it.
Exactly.
Figure out your quarterback situation. Very similar to the Falcons.
Whatever approach they take, I would take the approach with the coach mindset that let's settle for this year, but let's plan for the trading of Tomlin next year and have that coach have the ability to go get a guy they want.
Exactly.
Whether that's a skill player, a defensive player, or a quarterback.
Get the coaching staff figured out and let them build a team.
I also just want to throw this before we move on. I think Tomlin leaving is more reason for Rodgers to go. Now, I've been the guy saying all season that I think Rodgers is going to be that one quarterback that just sticks around until it's too late. I think now he has no choice but to retire because without Tomlin, why would he stay?
Exactly.
You don't want to stay for the unknown. Yeah. Arthur Smith's not going to be that coach. He can't be that coach. And if I'm Rodgers, I'm not playing for him like that. Tomlin being there, even though he wasn't the play call, it's different.
Yeah.
He
went to a place of predictability, and now there's none.
Yeah, and he said it. They had culture, and he only played for 2 teams that had that, which means he took a jab at the Jets in that sentence.
Yeah, yeah.
But
that was funny.
Yep.
But speaking of predictability, the Chargers predictably fired offensive coordinator Greg Roman, who was terrible, and the Chargers offense was terrible.
Now, here's my thing. Greg Roman, who was fired from the Ravens, even after having dominant offenses under Greg Roman, one of them being Lamar's MVP season, how much of this falls on injuries?
A lot. The
to
Chargers,
be fair, they had no offensive tackles. Your running back room was banged up from day one. The second you got Najee, he was hurt. Then Amarian goes down on IR with the high ankle sprain, whatever it was. Then you got Justin Herbert's been banged up all season.
Oh, yeah.
And then you utilized him in the run game throughout this entire game, which made no sense to me. But
he was getting killed.
I understand you got to have a change. They got to keep it going. If Jim wants this team to be successful and go in the right direction, you got to keep flipping the page until you get the right guy. But I think this has a lot more to do with injuries than necessarily him as a play caller.
It could. There was very questionable plays during this past game, though. I mean, you saw Justin Herbert struggle with time in the pocket and holding onto the ball.
Terrible.
And for some reason, they are running 4 verticals or deep crosses or very deep plays.
Well, I mean, if you look at the receivers, I get it.
But well, you absolutely have to push the ball down the field. But exactly, you got to take short throws.
Yeah.
And
you got to set it up.
If you're letting Justin Herbert sit in the pocket for that long without a offensive line that's injured and banged up, then that's
one hand feeds the other. The run game's got to have something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That as well. Yep. That as well. But next up, we have the Panthers have picked up Bryce Young's $26.5 million fifth-year option, a surprise to, well, me and you. I didn't think they were going to keep him.
We had the uncomfortable conversation that I thought David Canales was going to have this offseason was, do we keep him or move on, knowing that our team can be a playoff team even under Bryce Young. So going forward, that means if you get a guy just a level up from him, how dangerous could this team be?
Yeah, and the one thing that the Panthers weren't the entire season is predictable and consistent. They were the literal exact opposite. They had one game good, win-loss, win-loss, win-loss.
Now, you said this, on I believe the day of the game, they've had the Rams number the whole season.
Absolutely, yes.
So despite how they played, can we be shocked? Probably not. Go look at the tape.
I mean, I was fully expecting that to be a good game considering the Panthers won the last time, and the Panthers should have won this game again.
Now, I think what stopped this uncomfortable conversation from happening is the fact that, yes, they didn't win this game. I think the Panthers knew they had no business going to the divisional round.
Yeah.
I think they knew that. So the fact they competed the way they did, that Bryce Young played and led the way he did, that got him his fifth-year
through
option.
what should have been a game-winning touchdown.
That gave Dave Canales the reassurance that we can do this for one more year.
Yep.
And that's when you'll have the uncomfortable decision, okay, are we re-signing him or are we extending him?
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see where they go with that. But like you said earlier, $26.5 million for a quarterback.
That's a lot of money.
That we aren't even comfortable with.
Exactly. That's a lot of money.
We'll see. Moving on, the last piece of news we got, Cowboys have fired defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus. Again, not a surprise, something we saw coming. I never really viewed Matt Eberflus as a great coach after his Colts days.
Yeah.
Once he went to the Bears to be the head coach, didn't love it, and then they go to Cowboys DC. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't, and here we are talking about
worst defense in the league.
Exactly. All right. Tuesday discussion desk topic. So we had one today that really excited me. I wish Nick was here for this exact conversation because me and him talked about this privately. So Dom, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Free agent pass rusher Von Miller says he'd love to come back to Denver for the 2026 season to mentor Nick Bonito and be a role player behind him and Jonathan Cooper. Should Denver bring back their legendary future Hall of Fame edge rusher?
Absolutely. If you can get him on a team-friendly veteran minimum
I think he'll
deal.
take anything they'll give him. He wants to be back so bad. This is his 3rd season in a row talking about coming back to Denver.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now he's made it publicly clear because that was the concern. What's his role on this team? He's now made it clear. I think there's more here. I think he can't play the full 18 weeks like he used to. I think if he's on a veteran schedule, maybe practicing twice a week, lower practices, not pads, just conditioning, staying healthy, and is the role player on 3rd down or certain situations, and he's there simply to get Nick Bonito to be the strongest edge rusher he can be, this is the perfect scenario you can have. And I say that this happens. If the Broncos do not make a Super Bowl appearance this year, if this playoff run does not go as deep as we'd like it, I think that there's no better way to rebound than going to get a familiar face who won you your last Super Bowl.
Yeah, and you don't always have to pay for talent. You can pay for knowledge. And the wisdom that Von Miller has can be huge to that defensive line. It's kind of like Seattle bringing Cooper Kupp. Just the impact he's had on JSN and Jake Bobo, hell, I mean, it's just huge.
Well, like I just said, the last guy in the league still, other than Brandon McManus, who after this week, I don't want him, who has experience in championship wins for one because he won with the Rams, but two with us specifically is Von Miller.
Yeah.
And no better way for anyone to
Super
learn from
Bowl
him.
MVP.
I think the guy who would need to learn, I honestly would want him to mentor everyone in that room. Jonah Ellis, Jonathan Cooper, and Nick Bonito. But I think Bonito is the focus. And like I said, that role position, like you just said, despite age and anything and talent where he's at in his career, you've got to respect the guy. So whether Gronk or Travis Kelce or where they're at in their careers, the defense is going to respect them no matter what.
Absolutely.
So if Von Miller's on that field, an offensive tackle and running back have to game plan for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a beautiful move. I say do it no matter what happens this postseason. But I think if the Broncos do not make a deep playoff run, no better way to rebound going into next season than going to get the guy right here and making another jab at it. And that's what my opinion is on it. So I'm glad to see you're in the same frame of mind
absolutely.
that me and Nick were. Now to the A.J. Brown talk. God, I feel like we've been having this for months. Now it's time to really see if it happens. With A.J. Brown's drama-filled season in Philly, is it time to leave?
Absolutely.
Now let me suggest some potential landing spots, and you throw me where you think he fits best. Patriots, Bills, Broncos, Ravens, Chargers, Panthers, Packers, and Steelers.
So me and you had a conversation earlier this week, and it was about the floor and ceiling of A.J. Brown. We were arguing about who should go to
for
Denver.
The potential ceiling.
Yeah. Yep. And I think with this past game that we just watched A.J. Brown have with the crucial drops, crucial drops, I think he's pretty much gone from Philly. Philly would be stupid to keep him at this point. So with that being said, where does he land? This is a loaded question.
It's a loaded question. It is.
And you got a lot of options here. I think it's hard for me to say, but with a new head coach in Baltimore, why wouldn't that new head coach want to pick up a high ceiling wide receiver?
Why wouldn't they be more motivated? Now, granted, this comes from a Broncos fan, but why wouldn't that new head coach in Baltimore hypothetically be more motivated to go get Lamar a guy like A.J. Brown?
A true number one receiver.
Now they have Zay. We didn't say A.J. Brown has to be what he was the year they won the Super Bowl or what he was in the Titans. You get A.J. Brown on that field and compile it with Zay and just a sliver of Mark Andrews. They have to treat him with respect, and he then becomes a decoy on the field. And there's you could say maybe along that time of being the decoy, he becomes open. A.J. Brown finds himself. Maybe it's a confidence thing, change of scenery. Maybe in Baltimore, wherever he goes, we get the A.J. Brown back. And that's why, referring to our conversation we had earlier this week, I would be willing to trade a second-round or third-round pick for him. I honestly would.
I think a third-round pick for what he's put up in the past year.
Now, my problem with the Patriots, because obviously that's the fan favorite move because of Vrabel and the ties him wanting to be in New England when he was drafted. My only thing here, I feel like Vrabel would love to go a different direction than what's anticipated or expected because he did everything he wanted this year, and look at how it turned.
Yep.
Now, I understand the fans want that, but does Mike Vrabel want that? Mm-hmm. Does he work with Drake May's style of play? Everyone argues that Diggs is this. Diggs doesn't need to be the old Stephon Diggs. He's doing what works for that offensive scheme and play system. So I think that the Patriots, I would wipe off this list. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it comes down to the Broncos, the Ravens, and you call me crazy, the Buffalo Bills.
Absolutely.
I think
immediately you can eliminate the Chargers through the offensive line troubles and other issues.
They have Lad McConkey. Quentin Johnson. You got Keenan Allen for maybe they extend for one more year. I'm not really sure if they did extend him or not.
I think he's
done. Either way, you've got two very good starting receivers. And Quentin Johnson turned it on this year. So we know he can play wide receiver now in the NFL. So the Chargers off.
Yeah, same with the Packers. I mean, we surrounded Jordan Love with weapons before. I mean,
I think with the Packers situation, you should probably wait to see what Matthew Golden turns into in year two.
That as well. He just scored his first touchdown.
Be patient, which is sad to say, considering how good he was in college. Now, Panthers. Other reason I say I marked them off the list, one, you just got Bryce Young under that 1 year, $26.5 million deal.
And Ted McMillan is shaping in to be a true number one receiver.
And again, Xavier Legette, you should give him more time just to see. And I think you can build through the draft other than giving up capital. And I think the Panthers aren't in position to give up capital yet is my biggest thing. So I think that if you have to go trade for A.J. Brown, we're taking Panthers off the list. Now, Steelers. Simply, you have DK.
Exactly.
I don't know that getting AJ fixes that. Also, new head coach.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't fit.
I just think you can't have two people like AJ and DK in the same locker room. Is like
it's a weird combination.
That's why George Pickens didn't stay with the Steelers.
Yeah, and look how good he is now that he's gone.
Exactly.
So I do think that AJ Brown is still AJ Brown.
Yep.
On a new team, and I think that narrows down to Bills, Broncos, and Ravens.
I can't agree with you
more.
I
love those 3 spots. So I'm glad you offered.
Could be
the
dirty
Ravens.
in any 3 of those.
Him and Lamar. I think could be
even
scary.
him and Josh Allen. Imagine Josh Allen with a true number 1.
And that might open it up for Keon Coleman again. Exactly. Who just got benched this year and had less reps.
Yeah.
And maybe Khalil Shakir comes back and that contract is worth it. We don't know.
Keon Coleman's going to have to pick up some slack this weekend.
He needs to.
Yep.
All right. 2025 All-Pro snubs. I'm going to read you Football Forever's list. You tell me if you agree or disagree. Starting off with Broncos outside linebacker Nick Bonito. Texans cornerback Kamari Lassiter. Panthers defensive tackle Derek Brown. Panthers cornerback J.C. Horn. Patriots cornerback Christian Gonzalez. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor. Jags kicker Cam Little. Eagles linebacker Zach Bond. And the biggest name to finish off the list, Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, so I'm just going to pull up a list just so I can compare and contrast who actually won it. Though, of course, I'm never going to find it.
I'm going to say ESPN's going to be the biggest hard for you to see if I can get you one.
Oh, here we go.
You got one?
Got Bleacher Report. Coming in clutch, hopefully.
Them or CBS should be a pretty decent spot to get a list. Yeah, because look,
there we go. I got it.
Yeah, there you go. ESPN's just an article.
Yep. So I'll read off the 2025 All-Pro team. First team, quarterback Matthew Stafford, running back Bijan Robinson, fullback Kyle Juszczyk. Wide receivers is Puka, JSN, Jamar Chase. That's a dirty lineup. All-purpose, Christian McCaffrey. Tight end, Trey McBride. Offensive line is Garrett Bowles, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Quinn Miners.
All guys we expected.
Nice, yeah. Edge rushers is Myles Garrett, Will Anderson Jr., Micah Parsons.
Great lineup.
Yeah, exactly. So if we go, let's start with Broncos linebacker Nick Bonito. We compare him. No, get out of my way. We compare him to the other outside linebackers, if I can find it.
It would be under edge rushers probably, which is that's why it comes down to it's unfortunate.
Or linebackers. I mean, you got Jack Campbell, Jordan Brooks.
Yeah, but those are middle linebackers. They play the middle of the field, which is why Zach Bond was a big question mark after last season and probably being the one bright spot of the Philly defense this year.
Yeah. So would you take Nick Bonito over Myles Garrett?
No.
Would you take Nick Bonito over Will Anderson Jr.?
Right now, no.
Would you take Nick Bonito over Micah Parsons?
I mean, he got hurt. How can he be an All-Pro this year?
Going off what we've seen before he got hurt.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, the ceiling of Micah Parsons is lethal.
Yeah. So now,
but for this given season, we're gonna put a guy who got hurt. Now, granted, injury can't limit someone from an award.
Yeah.
But he didn't complete and fulfill this whole season. Whereas Bonito had a remarkable year, again following up last year. I can see where he's snubbed. Now,
well, I mean, you compare him to the second team, Brian Burns.
The one I want to circle back to, though, is Zach Bond or Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, go to the running backs. Bijan, sure, I get it. Jonathan Taylor, also off this list, was a snub.
Yeah, that's huge. Running backs is Bijan. Is this Bijan? Bijan for first team and for second team, James Cook. James Cook, absolutely.
I would take Jahmyr or Jonathan over James Cook any day.
I would not. Absolutely not.
I would.
Absolutely not.
I totally would.
Absolutely not.
Jahmyr Gibbs, had a little bit of a...
With how this season...
Final 4 or 5 weeks was a little bit off of his game, but how much of that was them not getting the carries down for him and Demont?
I don't know. I like the two options that are there. I think Bijan's first team, James Cook is second team.
Let me get the running back ranking up this season because now I'm actually kind of curious what that looked like.
I mean, I just can't see a world where we put Jahmyr Gibbs over James Cook just going off by how the teams have played, how they impacted the teams, and how they've increased in the past year, productivity-wise, of course.
ESPN sucks.
Yeah,
they give you this week. I don't want this week.
Yeah.
Is it under 20? I typed in 2025 to 25-26. That should be the whole season.
Yeah, you would think.
God, they're not coming in clutch. Okay. I don't want fantasy football. I just want what I want.
Okay. Well, I got a list. Top 15 running backs entering the final stretch of the 2025 NFL season.
Yeah, but that's from December. That's the one on ESPN, right? Or NFL, I mean?
Yes. Why does it matter?
That's the most recent. Screw it.
Jonathan Taylor's number 1.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey's number 2. Bijan's number 3. Jahmyr Gibbs is 4. James Cook is 5.
So in your top 5, these two are ahead of the guy you've already taken.
Yeah, but
I understand the argument. You know what it is? James Cook is the Bills' offense.
Yeah,
but so is Jonathan Taylor.
No, I disagree.
You really think Danny Dimes, Alec Pierce, and Michael Pittman were
having a huge impact on that team until Danny Dimes got hurt?
But could you argue that Danny Dimes in the pass game was so good due to how lethal? I mean, Jonathan Taylor was miles
I've argued that with Jalen Hurts. That's one reason why I thought Jalen Hurts was good, and that's my point is getting proven day after day after they failed to be able to pass the ball.
I wish Nick was here right now because he'd yell at you right now.
Because not Jahmyr Gibbs,
Saquon
Saquon Barkley cannot produce anymore, and because of that,
he had a good game this past week.
He has.
He's been the bright spot of that
and
team.
Guess what opened up their pass game for the first time what seems this season. And guess what? Guess who still can't catch a ball? A.J. Brown.
So, again, Jalen Hurts, that's his fault?
Yeah.
You're a hater. You're a hater. So you don't think anyone on this team on this list was snubbed?
No. I don't think in the running back position. I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs was snubbed out.
You can call me crazy. Christian Gonzalez did not deserve All-Pro this year. He did not look as good this year as he did last year, in my opinion, for the Patriots.
I thought it was a snub.
I'm saying I agree. I agree that he
disagree
that he's snubbed.
Okay, agree
I don't
that
think
he should
have been first team All-Pro. No.
I mean, let's see who did make first team for cornerbacks. Derek Stingley Jr. Absolutely
awesome season.
Yeah,
awesome
absolutely
season.
Should not be above him.
Yeah.
Quinyon
Mitchell.
Yep.
Been fantastic.
Yep. Let's go second team. Patrick Surtain.
Beautiful.
Put him in Devin Witherspoon. I agree. He's not.
Christian Gonzalez has not been as good
better
as
than
everyone
any
wants
of
to.
those
I
four.
understand.
No, it's not that he's not been good. It's he's not better than those four
I understand that Gonzo is a good corner. Don't get me wrong. But this narrative that he's like the best corner in the league has to stop.
Yeah, no.
Has to stop. The nickname and the Oregon roots and all that, I don't care. I really don't. Because when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, what corners are outshining everyone in the league? And right now, Dom just listed them to you.
Yeah.
And I would take all those guys over Christian Gonzalez right now.
I think those four are correct.
I also want to throw out that this was Football Forever. So this was not like a CBS Fox or anything. I just took some names. I want to see what you were thinking. All right. Why don't we kick off our wild card reaction, starting off with the first game of the week, Rams versus Panthers.
Well, the Rams hosted the Panthers this past week. No, the Panthers hosted the Rams. I never thought I'd be saying that.
Because of the debacle that went down in the NFC West and the debacle that went down in the NFC South made up for this beautiful matchup that I did not think would turn into a 3-point win.
Yeah, well, Gabe spoiled it there. The Rams won 34-31, a game that was a lot closer than most people betted on.
Doesn't feel like they won, though.
It does not. And that's because there was a score of 31-27 at one point in the last 2 minutes of this game.
Stafford also had happy hands and threw another interception to start off the game, or just at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
It just seemed like they were never fully in control. Yes, Puka dominated. Yes, Davante looked good for the first time coming back and looking comfortable and everything.
But that Rams offense didn't seem to be the number one offense in the league like that. It
didn't feel like Week 12 Rams, Week 10 Rams, Week 5 Rams.
And maybe it's just the Panthers' defense has their number.
Or maybe the defense is good is better than we thought, because defensive coordinator of the Panthers, Ejiro Evero, is getting head coach interviews and looks.
Yeah.
So maybe the defensive core is better than we thought, but I'm not going to lie. I'm disappointed in the Rams. For one, the defense, the beginning of the year, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, all these guys were supposed to be one of the best defenses in the league. And yes, they are not bad. And in playoffs, you anticipate the scores to be this close and contests to not look as pretty.
Yeah.
You're playing arguably the best of what's left in the league, the best of the best. But I expected the Rams to blow the Panthers out of the water.
Especially in a game this big.
When this was the matchup presented after the way the NFC South shaped out last week, I truly thought the Rams were given not an easy game, but a good, a get by the wild card game.
Yeah.
Kind of how the Bills had us last year for the first round. It did not feel that way at all. The Panthers were in control the entire time. Every time I checked the score, because I was at work trying to get a stream up on my phone, every time I would check the game, look at the highlights, go on Instagram to look at an update, the Panthers were in control the whole time. Then look at the juice from Bryce Young. I mean, the guy was running it. He was throwing it. He's not pretty by any means, but he's getting it done in certain areas, which is why I argue this game is the exact reason they gave him the
should have been a game-winning drive, just for the Panthers' defense to come out and let Matthew Stafford just tear through their defense in 4 plays and score a touchdown. After that, I want to talk about the last drive of the game for the Panthers, their last gasp of air to try to win this game and kick a field goal to tie it. First down, throws a bomb. Second down, throws a bomb. Third down, you guessed it, throws another bomb. 4 verticals is what the only play that the offensive coordinator called on those last 3 plays, I guess. Until fourth down comes. Bryce Young.
I was going to say, lose your train of thought?
Bryce Young rolls out of the pocket on the right side. Throws a dart while getting pressured. Forgot the guy's name. He's so irrelevant. J.C. Horn, was it? Was it J.C.
No, J.C. Horn's their corner. Who you talking about?
Who am I thinking about?
He's on the Rams defense?
No. Panthers wide receivers.
Jalen Coker?
Nope.
Ted McMillan.
Nope.
Xavier Legette?
Nope.
You got me.
Jimmy Horn Jr.
Oh, okay. Oh, Colorado Buffs guy right there. Okay, all right.
Jimmy Horn Jr. Pass the sticks. The ball goes right through his hands. On fourth down and 10 with the game on the line. He dropped the ball. I'm almost positive it was J.C. Horn Jr. That's why I was thinking. Jimmy Horn.
Stop saying J.C.
Jimmy Horn. I thought it was J.C. Horn. Okay,
Horn.
you get where my brain's going. You get where my brain's going.
You do this every week.
Yeah.
I
do this every week. But I get that your offensive coordinator put you in that position. Bryce Young made the throw. You got to catch the ball. It's 4th and 10 games on the line. You make that catch, and you can arguably get one more play to put you 15 yards.
Is it big boy plays like that make Dave Canales confident in bringing back Bryce Young for another year? You just said it. He rolled out, had pressure in his face. It was 4th down, the end of a playoff game, and let it rip. And it was a good throw.
Yeah.
It was a great throw.
A little low, but it should have been caught all day.
Now, a name that I just offered to you, Jalen Coker. 9 catches.
Oh, my God.
134 yards and a tug.
He's been a good part of this Panthers offense.
Him and Tet have taken over, and it's sad because Xavier Legette was supposed to be a prominent role in that offense.
Yeah.
And has not shined to that role.
Now, you look at the Panthers running back room, and a name we haven't been hearing a lot from.
Rico Dowdle did not get
fell off.
He had some comments after the game.
Yeah, I mean, he was the number 1 back over Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point in time where he was leading the NFL in rushing yards.
Yeah, and then
week by week
fell off the face of the earth, I guess. But
I mean, Chuba Hubbard didn't have a terrible game by any means. He had 2 touchdowns. It's just the yards aren't really there. But I get what Rico's saying. Where was the game planning that was there in the middle of the year? Right now, in the time that meant the most.
Yeah, and if you run 4 verticals 3 times in a row and it doesn't, you got a rookie, arguably a rookie quarterback back there. Not really a rookie, but a rookie quarterback. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. But you look at the Rams and
I think so. I saw some comments, and this is why I sparked this idea or this conversation. A lot of the issue with Rico Dowdle is that they gave the game plan to Chuba and they forced the ball to him simply because of that contract extension that he has not yet lived up to. He has not. I don't care what anyone says, he has not. And I think that's what rubs Rico the wrong way is that he's done more for this team on a vet-friendly 1-year deal.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of chaos this brings in the offseason. I simply just think this means Rico goes out and goes to another team.
Yeah.
But again, I can see the frustration. Biggest game of the year. You used him at the middle of the year. Looked great. Looked fantastic. Got the ball moving. Helped them win big games. And now in the game where they had a chance to beat, at what point in time was the best team in the NFL, they didn't get it done.
Yeah. And for the Rams side of the ball, I don't think there's really too many questions. As we've said, the Panthers have had their number the whole year. I think the Rams are going to come out and rip it against the Bears. And we'll get to that in our predictions. But if I was the Rams, I'm not terribly worried. You got to clean up the 3rd down conversions. You can't be going 3 for 13.
No. But Tay and Puka look great. They're back.
Exactly.
Speaking of the Bears, we had a thriller of a game on Saturday night. Packers versus Bears. Another game that came down to the wire. The Bears finished with 445 total yards of offense. Now, everyone kept asking me what my pick was for this game. I even made a bet with one of my customers at work. He may have been a little intoxicated. We'll see if I get my money. But I said I was going Bears. And he said, Pack go, and all that nonsense, saying that they've been here before, they know how to do it, the Bears don't. And I told him, Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson have been on a comfortable run these last 6 to 7 weeks. Don't make the joke. But Nick's not here, so he won't do it. I didn't know if you were going to. But what I offer is this. Numbers tell a story whether we like it or not. And in these final stretch of this season, the Bears have trailed in just about every single game. But what have they done in almost every game?
Won.
Put up the most points in the final minutes of the 4th quarter and did what Dom just said and won. I was not surprised by this outcome because Caleb does not seem to flinch at the moment anymore. Ben Johnson doesn't become scared. I can't exactly remember what point of the 4th quarter it was, but he threw this. I had to admit at the very end on the final drive. This beautiful play concept that left, I can't remember what receiver was open, Luther Burden maybe, open along the sideline for a touchdown. A beautiful throw from Caleb Williams. This game plan, I was not surprised by any means. Ben Johnson winning games in the final minutes, or any coach who does it for this matter, is not bad football. Maybe I offer you it's old school coaching, and they're coaching the game to win.
Yeah, so Caleb Williams went 24 for 48,361.
There's supposed to be a space there. 24 of 40 for 361 yards.
Yeah, so I came home from work to this game being 21-3 at halftime. Mm-hmm. What is the first play I saw? Brandon McManus miss a field goal at the very end of the half. So it's 3 points right off the board. I'm like, okay, there's no way the Packers lose this game, right? There's no way they'll blow this lead.
You texted us what in the second quarter?
I texted in the first snap of the second quarter. I said, the Packers lost this game.
They're going to blow it.
They're going to blow it.
And I said, I hope so. Because not only does Big Wop owe me $5 now, as it was bet of the week, customer at work owes me $5 now.
Yeah, and as a Seattle fan, I wanted the Green Bay Packers to win because they're the 7th seed, and I would have played them rather than the 49ers, a division rival. And for the Packers to blow a lead of 21-3 to the Bears, am I surprised? Absolutely not.
No, not at all.
But whatever Matt LaFleur's game plan was for the first half, it was amazing. I don't know if they went into halftime and just ate marshmallows and hot dogs.
Well, I want to make it clear, this game was a fantastic game on both ends. This came down to a shootout.
No, not at all.
I mean, it kind of was. I mean,
it was a great game by the Packers for the first half.
Jordan Love looked better than I anticipated him playing at all in this game. The run game, now, I might add you this. I don't know if it's the offensive line or if it's just simply Josh Jacobs not getting up to speed, but he had the carries there. 55 yards. I mean, it is what it is.
Besides for Matthew Golden's touchdown in the second half, the Packers did not do anything in the second half.
But I expected worse. I expected worse from this unit. A 9-7-1 team. I expected worse.
I did not. I expected them to dominate the Bears.
Did not at all. I did not at all, and I don't know where that narrative came from. I don't know how anyone thought that. I truly did believe 100% in the Bears, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams.
That I didn't believe in the Bears.
Colston Loveland has truly become the biggest threat on that offense.
Absolutely.
I thought that DJ Moore, Luther Burden, Cole Kmet, rookie tight end Colston Loveland, that everyone questioned the draft of.
It's a connection he and Caleb Williams have, and it's insane.
He's a tight end, but he's Travis Kelce when he was good. He opens the threat up.
Tucker Kraft when he was still alive.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Better than Tucker Kraft. I argue better than Tucker Kraft. He extends the field better than he's more athletic. In his first year, my eyes have already been shocked. Now, granted, this is all what he did at Michigan, so I'm not surprised. Yeah. But no, Colston putting. I'm thoroughly impressed by the Packers' offense, and I mean that in the nicest way possible.
And
I expected a lot worse. I mean, let me read you this: Romeo Doubs, 8 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Matthew Golden, 4 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown. Christian Watson could have had a touchdown, but he hurdled and fumbled the ball trying to hurdle over the
and then someone
pylon.
Else got it.
Yeah, it was Romeo.
Romeo Doubs, yeah. That was a beautiful pylon view, by the way.
It was. That replay was gorgeous.
Yeah. That was like extended to heaven or something.
I liked what Christian Watson was doing because it seemed like nothing else was clicking on that team. But like I said, Josh Jacobs, he had the opportunities to get it going, and at moments you're like, okay, 8-yard run, 5-yard run. Nah, -2, stuffed, -2, stuffed, now off the field.
But there is one player on this team that deserves to lose their job, and it's their kicker. I'm sorry, but
Denver got ready for a reason. Jacksonville got ready for a reason. And now here you are in Green Bay.
You missed the same thing. You missed a field goal.
There goes my football.
You missed a field goal to end the second half. Whatever, it happens.
Just like the Packers, I lost.
You come out and you miss an extra point. Then you miss another field goal.
Yeah, you got that for a second?
Listen, you don't miss that extra point in that game. And it is now a 31-28 game. That means the Packers were in field goal range. They could have tied it up and brought it to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a kicker that misses an extra point, come on. Like, it's what you're paid millions to do. We've been saying it the whole time. You can't do that. Like, you literally
It's become the hardest position for some reason.
And Brandon McManus, you lost the Packers this game.
I thought there was a point in time, too, where we had nothing but good kickers.
Yeah.
Now that's a slowing position.
It's a team sport, but that kicker lost them the game. And it's 7 points, 7 missed points in one game from a $1 million kicker. Unacceptable.
So how do you think the Bears fare this coming week? In terms
Against
of just
the Rams?
playing? I know we have the Rams but do you think they put up a fight?
Absolutely. They're not going to go down without a fight.
Okay.
But I think the Rams are just going to smother them. The Rams are too well-rounded, and the Bears' pass attack is about all they have.
I don't disagree.
So
because DeAndre Swift is week to week.
Time will tell.
And by week to week, I mean like 1 week he's on, 1 week he's off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This week he was off, so hopefully next week he'll be on. I will love the Rams to be taken out by the Bears. They'll do me a huge favor by doing that. So I'd much rather.
You need any help you can get. The NFC conference is so scary; it's not even funny.
Yeah.
But moving on to the AFC conference.
The Bills took on the Jaguars on our first game on Sunday at 1 p.m. and 1 p.m. Eastern.
We were in for a good one.
Yeah, and a very back and forth Jags-led game until the last quarter, of course, when Josh Allen decided to turn that around. The Bills won 27-24 in another one-possession game-winning drive.
Well, I think Trevor Lawrence's turnover is kind of, granted, might have been a tip pass, but I think that's what led to the momentum shift for the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think one of Trevor Lawrence's picks was excusable. Well, Trevor Lawrence went 18 for 30, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns.
One of them was a tipped ball that wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing.
Yeah. And the other one was atrocious, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But for the Jaguars, for them to weren't supposed to be a team that was super good this season, to bring it all the way to the wild card round and go out against the Bills, I don't think the Jaguars have anything to really be sad about.
While we're on that, there was a reporter for Duval County or the Jacksonville Jaguars who didn't ask a question but actually gave their opinion and 2 cents on the situation and told Liam Cohen, keep your head up, young man. This was a great season. We did not expect this. The fact that you came here and got the opportunity to do this is great. Come back next year with your head held high and do it again.
Absolutely.
And I loved that because the amount of times that a reporter comes out and gives reassurance in such a loving human way that we don't often see anymore in this cruel world, to me was awesome. And so which social media did what they do best and shit on it and said that's not the reporter's job nor place to go out and give an opinion where their job is to ask. No, Liam Cohen needed to hear that. And I'll show you after the show. You can tell that he received the message well. He needed to hear that. He needed to hear as a first-time head coach, a man that was told that leaving the Bucs was stupid, picking up Trevor Lawrence in this offense that had no hope, nothing, losing Travis Hunter in the middle of the season, and getting this far, competing and beating the Bills for a majority of this game. That says a lot.
Yeah.
You go and get a couple more pieces. You get the defense really figured out. Trevor Lawrence and him gel that much more in this offseason. What does this team look like next season?
And speaking of Trevor Lawrence, we had this, me, Nick, and you had this conversation at the end of last season, is quarterbacks that had to prove themselves this year, and Trevor Lawrence was one of them.
Now, he had his moments where it wasn't pretty, and it was the whole team effort. But he has really come a long way.
Absolutely.
From when we had
for
this
him to play the way he did this entire season, not just this game.
He became a leader.
Exactly. Brought them to the wild card round, brought them to a really solid record, and even after starting the season off not so hot, they won quite a few games in a row.
I think there was a point in time where I even felt like watching the Jags that the team had lost faith or maybe trust or just aim of direction with Trevor Lawrence, whereas you saw last week when they got that win and they gave him the grills and they had that moment with him in the locker room, it feels like they want Trevor Lawrence to be the guy in it. And you can tell when the quarterback starts playing to the level at which the team views him.
Yeah.
That says a lot about the coaching staff and Liam Cohen. And I've been high on Liam, and I said this last year before when he said he was going back to the Bucs. I said it was going to be huge for Baker. And the minute he left, there's a clip on our socials of me saying that Baker will take a hit from this. This.
But not just that, but you look at the wide receiver, you asked me who Parker Washington was
he became
10 weeks ago.
Junior.
I can tell you who the hell that guy is. Now Parker Washington is a very solid receiver, the number one receiver for the Jags right now.
Maybe even a key component to this offense next season.
Exactly. For how he played and how he came out and the time.
I mean, we saw him sauce the Denver defense up a few weeks ago. He did it again this week against Buffalo. Now, granted, Buffalo's defense isn't anything compared to the Texans or the Broncos, but Parker Washington has truly became the piece they needed when Travis Hunter got hurt. Yep. And Brian Thomas Jr., who's had a down year, has had a down year. I think this is more telling right now that people stepped up in the time of need. Now, you get Travis Hunter back. Maybe Brian Thomas Jr. gets back to where he was in his rookie season, and Parker Washington. Wow.
You get an offense next season.
This offense is
continue to solidify the O-line.
And Travis Etienne, I won't even get into it. That man is a dog. He is so good at football. It's not funny. I mean, this week's game, I think, was a little bit more scattered, but he was a team player. 10 rushes, 67 yards, 5 catches, 49 yards,
utility.
A touchdown. He went everywhere he was needed, and he made it happen.
Yep.
Over 100 yards of all-purpose yards. So, to me, he did his job.
Parker Washington,
as you said, 107 receiving yards and a touchdown. So,
sounds
great game by the Jags. Didn't get the job done, but next season, watch out for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Buffalo Bills, I said it a couple weeks ago. I wouldn't be surprised if you make a playoff run. You got the most experience. There's no distractions.
And there's no Patrick Mahomes.
And it's holding
or
true
Tom
right
Brady
now.
Or Joe Burrow. In this.
Now, the next roadblock is the Broncos.
Yep.
But
see if they can compete against one of the best defenses and see what Josh Allen does.
And we'll see.
As I said earlier, they're going to rely heavily on James Cook in this game. And if James Cook cannot produce numbers against the very good run defense that the Broncos have, I can foresee some issues in the Bills' offense.
Now, a team that we did foresee issues coming, none other than the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, had a rematch with the 49ers. We saw this matchup 2 years ago when Brock Purdy got hurt in the playoff game, killing that 49ers' awesome season. In this game, the Niners get their get back. They had the Eagles numbered this day, regardless of Saquon's 106 rushing yard day, which wasn't bad. I was surprised. I didn't think he was going to have that much of a game. We still saw the Philly struggle. The run game wakes up, but the pass game dies. Jalen Hurts is not there to save you. What is left? Not much. And that's what comes with the firing of Kevin Patullo and all the issues that hold around the Philadelphia Eagles offense. Now, there was a point in this game where I thought, okay, the Eagles might turn on a switch here. And it was that jet sweep to Dallas Goedert. And I thought it was a beautiful play design. They exploited the Niners defense and got a touchdown. They needed it. But the problem is, you can't keep the ball moving. In the second half, you've got to stay as strong as you were in the first. Now granted, 23-19 is a close score, but the Niners feel like they were in control of this game from the second half on.
Yeah, I mean, and again, if you are Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown doesn't drop those 3 passes, this stat line looks completely different.
Very different. Those were all passes, I would say,
exactly
over
20 yards
or more.
Yeah.
Speaking to another quarterback, Brock Purdy, lighting it up the last few weeks. 262 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a couple
2 picks.
And a couple.
Both of them were pretty bad.
The picks come with his reckless play.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is what comes with his reckless play, but we also see that from Josh Allen. So at the end of the day,
you are playing in Philly against one of the better defenses
across
in
the country. I mean,
yeah.
They're on the West Coast,
on the most
on the East
injured
Coast.
team by far in NFL history.
I mean, we
arguably.
said it during the news. You lost George Kittle and still went out and did your job.
And Juwan Jennings stepped up, and
Demarcus Robinson stepped up. 2 big plays on the first drive, one of them going for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So this Niner off, I'm going to say the whole team. This whole team is ready to play. And that's what makes me nervous for any matchup is that the Niners wake up in these
cannot
moments in
underestimate
them.
them.
Exactly. You cannot overlook them despite the injuries. Because I sat there and said, well, if the Niners do make the playoffs, they're going to be what everyone viewed the Panthers as. Then I watched them this past week, and I say, no, they're carrying that hype in from the end of the regular season into the postseason.
Yep.
And I can see completely why any Seahawks fan, as you are, is looking at this game as a, oh shit, take this serious kind of moment.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know how they're going to do it.
Them.
And here I was making my Kalshi bets of the week, and Dom was here saying he can't predict them because he truly doesn't know how this game fares on either side of the ball.
It's impossible to predict what either team's going to do and how either team's going to react.
You know why? Playing any team 3 times in one season is terrifying.
And a division rival.
They know you the best. They have every bit of film on you, especially being the division rival.
Yeah.
And this is your 3rd time playing, which means you're both going to bring your best, and it's going to bring out the worst in one of you.
Yep.
And that's the scary uncertainty with these kind of games.
It's also, not to get on this game, but it's also going to see how Sam plays in the playoffs. And if it's anything like last year, we're not going to win this game. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, it's going to be a lot of showing up for both teams and not underestimating each other and just dominating. That's what it's going to have to be.
As for Philly, before we move on, you've heard our thoughts on the Niners. The Philadelphia Eagles
they got some things to fix.
Need to get healthy, and they need to get healthy mentally.
Yes.
Go get your offensive coordinator.
They need to get rid of A.J. Brown.
Reinstill the faith in which this team holds, because as an Eagles, if I'm an Eagles fan, if I were to be, you've got the pieces. If I'm Howie Roseman, there's nothing wrong with this team still.
Absolutely
the defense is where it was. You've got the draft capital. You've got the money. You've got the quarterback. You've got the running back. You just need to trade the toxicity that is in the locker room. Go replace him with a younger guy. I'm not saying go get another A.J. Brown. I'm saying go get a guy who can just play football.
Exactly.
Go get yourself a Parker Washington.
Let Devontae Smith take the next step.
And go get a veteran like the Seahawks did with Cooper Kupp, and go get yourself a competent OC. And there's many on the market right now. If Mike McDaniel landed on this team, God forbid, how do they use him to scheme up Saquon? So that being said,
Clint Kubiak's getting a lot of attention for head coaching jobs. If Clint Kubiak gets an offensive, not an offensive, a head coaching job, can we see Mike McDaniel as part of the Seattle offense? A lot would have to go right.
If I was Mike McDaniel, I would love to go to a team that already has the success there and the pieces in place, and I've seen it work. But what I think will most likely happen, at least for this first year of him not being head coach, he'll probably in some capacity go back to the Niners or somewhere under the Kyle Shanahan tree.
Yep.
That's the unfortunate reality. But there's no openings on that coaching tree. So the next best places would be something similar to West Coast offense as Clint Kubiak's. Another spot that really excites me is the Commanders.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels and Micah McDaniel, I think,
him and Dan Quinn together could be pretty scary.
I think that would be a very good combo. But it's so unpredictable in this very moment that I'm going to use your saying, and time will tell.
Time will tell.
We'll see in the next coming weeks, months.
That's going to happen.
These months loading up till April, watch out, because before draft season, it's gonna all these questions.
Everything's got to get in place
at some point or another. It's got to happen before April. It's got to before March even. So we'll see. It's gonna happen very quickly. I mean, the Super Bowl is only 4 weeks away.
Exactly.
And with that, we're already heading into draft season, free agency.
Yep.
It's coming quick. So
next up, our second to last game of our wild card weekend. We had the Chargers take on the Patriots. The way this game was going, I wish it was the last game. Yeah, and the Patriots dominated. You could say
in some capacity they dominated.
They won in the score of 16-3, and probably the worst playoff game I have ever watched. I think I watched one very incompetent, not playoff worthy team play a
team that hasn't faced very many.
Hasn't faced a lot of adversity and is not battle tested.
Adversity is the proper word.
Yeah,
and you know what? I'm going to say this, if you don't mind me taking over for a second. What good I will take away from this for Patriot fans, and why I say, okay, maybe the Patriots are... I've never said they were a fraud. I've just simply said I don't think they're what everyone's making them out to be. But what I will offer is this. Drake May will be a franchise quarterback and is a good quarterback in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And why I say that, even with the turnovers, whether he fumbled it and they recovered, even with the turnovers, I told you before you left my house that night, this is when the coach staff needs to look at him and say, look, short-term memory loss. You threw the pick. It didn't turn into points. Move on.
You need to come back and play.
It didn't happen. And it appeared that Drake May played that exact way. After every mistake he made, the next drive was a clean whiteboard, starting fresh. Let's redraw the painting or redo it. Let's just get downfield and see what we can do.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the fumble from, I don't remember if it was Travion or I think it was Ramondre. One of them. You cannot fumble going into the red zone, starting when you started on your own side of the field. They were deep in their own side of the field. I want to say they were past behind the 20. You made it all the way to the other side of the field, and you fumbled. You cannot do that.
I mean, speaking of the run game, that's really what kicked the Patriots in the ass to win this game, and what's dominated is just the 1-2 punch of Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson. And
now, I will say, I did think that the run game would be a little bit stronger than it appeared in this game, but maybe that's just the Chargers' defense is a little bit stronger than I gave him credit for.
That could be as well. I mean, we did see a lot of
Will
Ramondre.
Campbell was blocking for his life. Yeah. He looked at a certain point in time where he couldn't hold on to Will anymore.
And you can see Ramondre Stevenson's impact on the pass game as well. 3 catches for 75 yards. And Kayshon Boutte, you said something to me about one of the Patriots receivers being a standout. I forgot which one it was. Something that he's taken a step over Kayshon Boutte just for...
Kyle Williams?
Kyle Williams.
Yeah.
Just for Kayshon Boutte to come out in this game and have 4 catches for 66 yards.
That's a fire in your ass when your teammates are starting to step up. And not in a bad way or like a hate way. More of like a... Okay, I need to keep my job safe. I need to prove that I'm still that guy.
Exactly.
That I still have a place on
Makes
this
everyone
offense.
do better.
Yeah. Competition is key.
Yeah, and if you look at the team stats in this game, it is so lopsided. It's total yards is 207 for the Chargers, 381 for the Patriots.
It was hard to watch. Yes, the Patriots dominate in the box score. When you watch the game...
It didn't feel like they were, though. Because the Chargers felt like they were hanging on.
I'm going to piggyback off my clip from last week. I said that if the Chargers lost this game and if the Patriots won this game, it's because Justin Herbert didn't do his job and I didn't trust him. And all the comments then and now are going to say that the offensive line was this, the offense was this. Look, even when the offense has had any sort of positive health and any good players, and now you're going to say that in his 6 years of being in this league, he hasn't had this, and that, I don't care. He has yet to win a division. He has yet to win a playoff game. He has not done any of these things, but we hold Justin Herbert to a top 10 quarterback standard in which he has never been. I don't view him as a top 10 quarterback. And in this game, I saw what I've always viewed him as.
I mean, look at our clip that we just released the other day of us all saying Justin Herbert cannot do it in the playoffs.
I'm actually
for
curious.
The third
Has he
time.
Finished as a top 10 quarterback any time in his 6 seasons? I want to see where...
I'm honestly not sure. But what I can say is that for the third time, Justin Herbert has successfully shit his pants in the playoffs. I mean, from blowing a huge lead in his first game to whatever 4-interception performance he had last season, now to come out this year and just have the most lackluster game. I mean, they couldn't even get a snap off at one point in this game. Pretty sure one ball went flying over his head. The other ball bounced off his left hand.
God, he was pressuring his face. So, I mean, when the Patriots would put out the new defensive personnel anytime he got killed. Anytime there was just energy, juice, and not gassed edge rushers.
Speaking of that, Joe Buck was saying it during the stream. Whoever was coaching for the Chargers, I don't know if it was Jim, who it was, but when they finally got momentum going and they had the Patriots defense on their heels, for some reason they would stop and they would sub. And when they did that, it allowed all the Patriots to sub their entire defense, because if the offense subs, you have to allow the defense time to sub. And that would let them get fresh. And it was just, we literally watched the whole Patriots D-line walk off the field and get replaced with guys that are ready to go. And if you're the Chargers and you finally have a defense gassed and on their heels, you absolutely cannot sub. You need to keep the guys out there, and you need to keep running a fast with rhythm, and you just got to keep attacking that defense. And Joe Buck and Troy Aikman said it, and it was just right after they said it, it just was time and time again that this Chargers offense just could not stay on the field and just could not keep this Patriots defense on their heels. And that's why I think they had such a lackluster offensive game and why they could not get into the red zone.
Very true, very true. The Herbert, I can't find it by year. I'm sure one of these nitty-gritty Charger fans are going to tell me he finished 10th in this season or in this stat
pushes
line
the glasses
or something
up with the buck teeth.
But I quite honestly don't care. Everything that I have said about Justin Herbert on social media through this podcast and every opinion I have based since he was drafted. Now, I said this in the first clip we posted back at the beginning of the season. Me and Nick reiterated again. All the talent in the world, all the respect in the world. Great guy, great player. But he's not the quarterback that I think that we all paint him to be. And I hate to speak for everyone, but I feel as if I'm alone in this argument. I don't know where you are now. You never really chimed in when me and Nick have these conversations.
Yeah, I mean, I was never super high and I was never super low on Justin Herbert.
I think that's exactly what his career is.
A middle-of-the-pack quarterback. But for him to get in the playoffs and consistently just shit his pants, suck.
He has sucked every playoff appearance he's ever had.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm worried about Sam Darnold, as we saw that last year. Is this going to carry on to this year? Time will tell, of course. And for Justin Herbert, it's just, when will it end? And how many times can you just keep making it off into the playoffs to go out in the wild card?
And I think the hardest part for me is that every year the justification for it is, and I get it, it's a team sport, but the justification for every year is O-line this, receiving that, coaches this. To
be completely fair and honest, his O-line is terrible, and he was getting pressured almost immediately. However,
I think injured is the right word.
That is true. Injured, but terrible. Terrible because injured.
Yeah.
And if you are an elite quarterback and a top 10 quarterback, you need to be able to overcome that, kind of like Josh Allen does on a day-to-day basis.
Took it right out of my mouth. I was going to say it.
And
Drake May, even at times, has shown that even when this offensive line isn't at their best, he still makes plays.
Yeah, and you got to work around it. As much as it sucks, if you are a top 10 quarterback and a franchise quarterback, you need to work around it because it's going to happen sooner or later.
I mean, Joe Burrow was finding his ways into playoffs.
He made the Super Bowl with the worst O-line in ever. And the only reason, arguably, that he lost was because of Aaron Donald and that the dominant defensive line that the Rams had in that Super Bowl. And
I think I've given enough attention to Herbert and that whole situation.
We can go on about it all day.
The film shows the Patriots won.
He sold another game that we all predicted.
And we all saw it coming. It's nothing new. Now, to finish off our wild card weekend in what was Mike Tomlin's last game with the Steelers,
Aaron Rodgers'
last game with the Steelers.
Oh, my God.
The Texans won 30-6 in a game that was 7-6 at halftime.
It was 7-6 till the
fourth quarter, until the defense truly turned it on, lit it up, and returned a fumble, if I'm not mistaken, for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter are in a class of their own as an edge rusher duo. This team...
Aaron Rodgers was uncomfortable the entire
Everyone
game.
kept saying, if the Steelers making the playoffs, they're going to be dangerous. No, I never thought that. The team that I said was going to be the most dangerous, and me and Nick have also said this because we played them this year, won 15-18. The Texans, if they can just get in the playoffs, DeMeco Ryans' team is going to be the scariest in the AFC aside from the Bills' experience.
In
terms of being underestimated.
Yeah, and this game was lopsided from the start. I mean, the Texans had 408 total yards to the Steelers' 175. And this game is just...
Look at the rush game that the Texans had.
The Steelers had no business being
164 to 63 yards.
Yeah. And was I honored to watch another A-Rod playoff game? Absolutely. However, it was terrible. And
it's not the way you want to see him go.
I don't think, and I said this in the group chat, I blame none of this on Aaron Rodgers. None of it at all. He did everything he could, especially at his age, everything that he could to lead this team and do what he could.
I'm surprised they made it this far.
Exactly. And for MVS... to be what appeared to be the best wide receiver on that team is atrocious when you picked up DK Metcalf for the second-round pick that you got him for.
Yeah, if you told me 3 years ago Aaron Rodgers and DK would be on the same team, I would be shitting.
Yeah, I would have laughed at you.
Yeah.
But even in this game, and people are going to call me crazy for this, but I think the real reason they lost this game is because of DK Metcalf's inability to catch a football. He had 2 major drops, worse than A.J. Brown's drops. I don't know if you saw them, but they were in the most critical times of the game. Beautiful pass up the side. It was a 30-yard bomb, and it was dropped.
I think another thing is, even in a game where Nico Collins wasn't playing to his full potential, now granted, he got hurt, and that's C.J. Stroud throwing another hospital ball.
C.J. Stroud was not pretty at all.
But regardless of the point, Christian Kirk stepped up to another level.
Absolutely.
A level that I don't think I've ever viewed him, because every time he signed with a team, whether it was the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Texans, I never viewed him as that great of a threat, simply because of what I saw in Arizona. But you know what? He shows up in times of when they need him, and I guess that's what you can ask for out of a player, especially in playoffs. And I think that this is going to carry into future games. The Texans are a team that needs to be respected. I think that this is the Niners of the AFC.
And I mean, you forget that the Texans don't even have their true number 1 running back. Woody Marks has been absolutely insane.
They don't have Joe Mixon, and then
Joe
Nick
Mixon.
Chubb has been a shell of who he could be.
And for Woody Marks to step up in the way he has and go 19 rushes for 112 yards and a tutty.
Beautiful stat line.
Absolutely.
Beautiful stat line.
Gorgeous.
And that's them giving him the respective carries he deserves.
The box score doesn't show how bad C.J. Stroud's performance truly was last night. That's the reason the Steelers were able to hang in this game.
I've been saying, even when Davis Mills is in, the offense appears to be the same.
21 for 32, 250 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and however 2 lost fumbles.
Here's
a third fumble on top of that.
Here's the lopsided sign on this that really just boggles my mind. The time of possession is not that far off.
Not at all.
But then you look at the yards, the total yards for the Steelers. Tell me how they had the ball for 27 minutes to the Texans 32 minutes with only 175 total yards of offense. That's concerning.
Yeah.
That's very concerning.
Yeah.
I know Mike Tomlin's gone. Arthur Smith. You have Aaron Rodgers. You've got some pieces. You made it this far. You only mustered out 175 total yards.
Yeah, and went 2 for 14 on third downs.
Now, granted, player execution is massive.
Yes.
But you have the pieces that have executed in the past.
Exactly.
There are drops, not just by DK, that I sit there and I'm like, poor A-Rod, man.
Yeah, and that's why I don't blame him.
There was one beautiful fade to the left side of the sideline at one point in the third.
And they tripped, right?
Yes.
Tripped, and he fell. I know exactly what you're talking
about.
It was gorgeous.
I watched A-Rod look up the sky like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, and there was times where he had people open. He just line didn't give enough time. He was getting
A-Rod ain't totally healthy.
Yeah.
He ain't even totally healthy.
He's got a broken hand.
Yeah. Again, like Dom said, not the way you want to see him go out. Happy to see him play. If this is the way he went out, it sucks. Now, I'm going to ask you before we move on from this game and call it quits on our wildcard reactions. Should he have just stayed in Green Bay?
That's also a loaded question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of it was really his choice anyways, because it seemed like Matt LaFleur was also done.
With the locker room troubles that were going on at the time and just the toxicity around the team, I think he had to get out of there for both the sake of Jordan Love's career.
But the 2 players that appeared to be Devontae Adams, they also said wanted him to stay, and then they let both of them go.
Yeah,
something tells me where did the true issues come from? I don't know that we'll ever know.
Yeah, I mean,
but you're telling me they couldn't have made it work for both sides. I feel like the Packers didn't really make out.
Yeah,
they paid a lot of money for a quarterback that not a lot of people are hiring.
I mean, I wish I could have watched another 3 years of Green Bay A-Rod.
I like Jordan Love. But it's no secret that you, Nick, and a lot of people who love the NFL are very harsh critics of him.
Yeah.
Simply because he's not getting it done to the level at which Aaron Rodgers has.
Yes.
You telling me Matt LaFleur, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams couldn't deal with each other for another 3 years?
We'll never truly know what was happening.
And you can tell the Jets' 2 seasons took a toll. You can tell.
Oh, yeah.
On his mental health, his physical. I mean,
got everything. An ACL tear in like the first play of the game.
His Achilles, the worst thing he could have had torn at his age.
In the press conference, as you said earlier, he even came out.
He took a shot.
He took a shot at the Jets.
2 teams with
However, he did praise Matt LaFleur in that very press conference.
Because there's no doubt he was a good coach.
Absolutely.
He also loved Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing you got to give Aaron Rodgers credit for. He loved every man which he played for.
Yeah. And he made it work.
And he He defends his guys.
Yeah.
And for that, you got to...
Even though he seems to be yelling at them every play and complaining about something they're doing.
Yeah, but he's
always standing up for him. That's a competitive side.
That's where that silver lining comes in, that when you become that old of a veteran quarterback, you're kind of a coach at a certain point.
Exactly.
You're telling these young guys, like, look, this little tweak and you catch that ball, you got a touchdown.
Yeah.
Now, instead, you've got a huge drop and we're losing the football game.
Yeah.
But I'll digress. That is our reactions for the wild card. Now we're on to the divisional, because in the NFL playoffs, it's go, go, go. You're winning, you're in, and you're out, and you lose, you're out. So, on divisional round, kicking off on Saturday, we got the Buffalo Bills heading into Mile High, taking on the Denver Broncos, #1 seed, in which me, Dom, and Nick went. The Broncos across the board. Finishing off Saturday night, Dom's big game. We've got the 49ers heading into Lumen Field to take on the Seattle Seahawks, in which we went the Seahawks across the board. Kicking off Sunday's games, we've got the Houston Texans taking on the New England Patriots, in which the empire of a great season falls, and we go the Texans across the board. And to finish the divisional round, we've got the LA Rams taking on the hot Chicago Bears, but we argue that it ends here for them as well, because we went the Rams across the board. Do we want to give a ranking update of record, or do you want me to keep it hush-hush? And
keep it hush-hush till the very end. Or check out our socials.
Yeah, go to socials and check it out. Let's not spoil it.
And it's crazy to say that next week at the same time, we'll be giving our reactions to these games, and we're either both going to be very happy, very sad, or one of us will be rubbing it in the other's face. And that is terrible to think about. And I can only hope that we're both happy, because I would love to see
The worst part is we both go to bed Saturday night to figure that out for Sunday morning, and the worst part is I'll know my energy first. So I don't know how. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a shitty feeling. Feeling. And to make it worse, our schedules don't even align. We can't even watch it together. Yep. So there's no guarantee that we ever get to watch our teams on the same day in the same playoff bracket play together.
Ever again.
Or we get lucky. Both teams prevail. They move on. They win. And these are the 2 Super Bowl teams. And then
we got another round to go through first.
And then still, I said if they prevail.
If they prevail.
Still then, even if that happens, I don't get to watch Super Bowl with you, Nick.
Because you'll be gone.
I'll be gone.
And Nick will probably be eating pasta somewhere and not at my house.
He can go to your house or here and watch it. It won't kill him.
He's already told me, baby, no.
Why?
Well, I don't know. Because he said he may be busy. I'm like, whatever that means, dude.
Even if your dad or my mom cook hella food, he'll be here. He'll be there. He'll be at
it's one way to entice him. Food.
He'll be at one spot.
Food.
It's not on the camera this week, but Nick's sign behind him is upon further review, I'm going to need more snacks. So
that is a true statement.
It is fitting. But that is all we have for episode 63. So if you ever want to collab or work with the Turf Talk podcast, you can reach us at GabeDowdPodcast@gmail.com. That is the best place for us to answer you in timely manner, in the most professional way. As Dom said earlier, follow and check out all socials. That's where we post all of our exciting clips, content updates, our instant reactions now. As you can see, they're going off. They're doing well thanks to you guys. So let's keep that rolling. And without further ado, we will catch you next week for episode 64, our divisional round reactions, and much more. And Big Wop will be back. So join the huddle and join the talk with the Turf Talk podcast.